Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Getting it done with gratitude. And with you this morning are your co hosts and your friends, Shelly Ann Edwards Barron and Karen Williams Thompson. Well, today we wanted to look at mental wellness. And we're going to get right into it because this is something that is so relevant and so important to each and every one of us. And sometimes when we think of mental wellness, we just think of the mind. But I want to ask you to broaden that perspective and think about how it actually affects you emotionally, how it affects you socially, how it affects you just by having that mindset shift, how that impacts you achieving the things that are really, really important to you in life. And so I thought I would start with, mental wellness. What really is wellness? And according to one definition, it's about creating a balance emotionally, psychologically, socially, and it allows us to manage stress, and everybody's got a little bit of that going on. It helps us to adapt to changes and challenges. When you can focus on what's the good happening in your life, when you can focus on the positives and not dwell on the negatives, you are able to redound from those challenges and changes that are just an everyday part of life. And I know that that is something really dear to Shelley's heart, how gratitude helps you to be
Absolutely.
resilient. I know she really wants to touch on that. So I'll just introduce myself ever so quickly for those new persons who are hopping in now and who wouldn't know who I am. As I said, I'm Karen Williams Thompson. I'm a life and business strategist. I've had several years in corporate and I took that leap. I took that step and I started my online business, Beyond Limits Global Consultancy. And what I really do is I help women say yes to their dreams. I help women put themselves front and center and really just say yes to it. And one of the best ways I can tell you personally of getting it done has been with gratitude. But more of that later. Shelley, introduce yourself.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Getting It Done with Gratitude. So happy that you're here. If you're looking at the recording, thank you so much for taking the time. My name is Shelly Ann Edwards Barron, and I'm a gratitude guide. What I do is I help people who are stuck and wondering what's next, they're feeling unfulfilled. I help them incorporate that habit of gratitude in their life so that they can really thrive and develop their full potential. Now, gratitude, as we're talking today, we're looking at what makes gratitude help you build that resilience. And that's really what it is. Gratitude introduces that capacity to recover, to push through. And as Karen was saying, it's not just about the mindfulness only. In order to really have that complete resilience, we're looking at that mind body connection. So we do have to think about our physical body because that's how we are interacting with the world, that's how we are present in this physical world. So that connection between mind and body makes a huge difference. And gratitude is that, well, I like to call it the secret sauce. Some people might call it a secret weapon, but it really helps us build the resilience and be able to deal with the regular stresses of life and the not so regular stresses of life. So now the thing with gratitude is, I know, Karen, you would have looked it up as well. There's a ton of research on gratitude, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
just about saying thank you.
Thanks. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes really beyond saying that thank you. And it it really is like that. It's like a state of being. It's like um being present. It incorporates so many things, but when it comes to mental well-being and wellness, it's about giving us that foundation and that strength to weather the storms that life throws at us. And the research, I I pulled up just a few because I'm sure um, viewers might take a minute and just Google research based gratitude because, these days we talk a lot about evidence, providing evidence and evidence based actions. Gratitude has so much behind it. And I know it's kind of like a buzzword, it has been for a little bit, but gratitude goes all the way back, and the practice of gratitude goes all the way back to BC, where we have lots of, I think the Cicero was one of them who's quoted a lot
Yes.
talking about
Mhm.
gratitude.
Yeah.
And so gratitude research, one that I found, the earliest one that I found was like 2003, but I know there would have also been research before that. But
Yeah.
that 2003 study said specifically, this is in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. So it's not just, random research. These are PhDs dedicated to uncovering what helps human beings the most. And this one spoke about gratitude as a major contributor to resilience following the September 11 attacks in the US.
Yeah.
So they looked at how being grateful for different things can actually help people who experienced and who lived through that trauma, how it helped them um, recover and,
Yeah.
live a full life after that.
Yeah. And Shelley, when you talked just now about gratitude and it helped giving us strength, it really brought home for me recent changes and challenges. When mom died, I remember how you talked me through just being grateful for all that I had with her, being gracious with myself, and really allowing gratitude to help me in that time, because that was not an easy time. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
way rough. But I have really seen the evidence of practicing gratitude, that even in the midst of sorrow, even in the midst of hurt, and in the midst of everything in your life going from one thing to another in a minute, that holding on to that gratitude, putting it there front, center, every part of you, that it really does help you to stay present. And I think
Hmm.
that's one of the really important things about mental wellness about as well. It's about helping us to stay in the present. And that has a lot to do with the mind shift. So we can get caught up in, oh, why did it happen? And we can go on a whole story. But gratitude helps us to stay present to where we are. And when we are focusing on what are the positive things, what were the good things you had, like all the joys that we had with mom, all the things that we were able to celebrate, when you focus on that, it takes you away from that negative. It takes you away from that and it brings you back to the present. So I just really wanted to share that, we talk about gratitude, but I've really seen how gratitude has really impacted my life, not only then, but also in achieving the goals. When someone, and not to be a downer, but when someone dies, there's so many things that goes on. But I was
Yeah.
so grateful to mommy, because mom had everything mapped out, and it was as if she knew her daughter so well, that she knew how difficult this would be, and so she made it easy. And it was just one more thing to be truly grateful about, the fact that all we had to do was follow her guidance and her instructions. I mean, that is just gratitude manifested in the biggest way. And so, mindfulness and mental wellness and gratitude are things that go hand in hand.
Absolutely. Yes, yes,
And
yes.
being able to have that mind shift also takes us into, something that Shelley talks about all the time, and that is resilience. That is
Hmm.
how you get up
Hmm.
when you feel as though you have been knocked down.
Yeah, and sometimes, that feeling of being knocked down doesn't necessarily have to come after like a major life event. For people like me who have anxiety and, at various levels, sometimes when you get like a panic attack or when you get up in the morning and your first thought is about things that were left undone, all the things that you had to do, all the things that you have to do during that day, all the things other people told you, the negativity. And when that begins overwhelming you in the
Mhm.
morning, before you even step out of the bed and get the day started, you can get, sometimes you might get up with that heaviness in your chest, and you're feeling like if you can't breathe properly,
Mhm.
and you're wondering, okay, how am I going to face the day? For me, what works the best is I do a combination of deep breathing, a grounding exercise called the 5 4 3 2 1, and gratitude. And remember, before I mentioned about that mind body connection. This is where you actually
Mhm.
see that practice of mind body connection working together. So we have so when I get up and I start to feel like that, whenever it comes, deep breath in through nose, out through mouth. Sometimes I do that like 3 times, and then 5 4 3 2 1. 5 things I can see. So I look around the room and I identify 4 things I can touch. I stretch out and I touch what I can touch. 3 things I can hear. So then I listen attentively. 2 things that I can smell. May have to use my imagination depending on what's happening in the environment. And then one thing I can taste, most definitely I have to remember something. But what that does is that it takes me out of my what ifs and my negative feelings and emotions, and it brings me to the present. And then once I'm there, then I can clearly identify 5 things that I'm grateful for. And I think specifically about the little things, because sometimes we overlook the little things. And so I am grateful for the mosquito net. We live in the Caribbean. We know what they're like. So I have one of those, and I'm one of those people that I get terrorized with mosquitoes. 4 of us are in the room, everybody else is fine, and I'm the one, itching, scratching. So I need protection. So, and I have one of those. I'm grateful for that. So, and I count down 5 things that I'm grateful for. Then I take another
Mhm.
deep breath and I do the 5 4 3 2 1 again. And then I could get up and face the day. And I do this regularly because when you have anxiety, it's not something that, you get cured and it's just going to disappear. What
Mhm.
happens is
Mhm.
that we develop coping mechanisms, and that coping mechanism with gratitude is the healthiest and most productive coping mechanism for anxiety that I have come across. And I live it every single day. So when I tell people
Yes.
about, gratitude and the benefits of it, I have a list of research, we're talking about Journal of Applied Psychology, the Behavior Research and Therapy journals. We have the positive psychology group. We have um, personality and individual differences. All these research-based journals publishing their findings and their um, support of the benefits of gratitude. And you can list it in the sense that gratitude even helps us sleep better.
Yes.
Research was done and it
Mhm.
shows that gratitude helps us sleep better.
Mhm.
So, for those of us who are struggling to get rest at night, and this is something else that I do as well, because it's, when you have anxiety, getting up in the morning is an issue, and going to bed at night is also an issue. So, when I get to bed, I do sometimes I don't always write it down. It's better to write it down so you have that evidence that you could look at and see later on. But even if I don't have the opportunity to write it down, I definitely say my gratitudes at night, and the 5 4 3 2 1. Sometimes I do that as well, that combination, going to bed, so that I get more restful sleep
Yeah.
and my mind has powered down and I can rest.
And the thing about that is that when you are practicing that gratitude, the shift in the focus is really what is also supporting
Yeah.
the mental wellness. And so that is the link that we really want you to see, that when you are able to shift your mind from what's not right, what's not working, reducing that level of anxiety. But the other thing is that when you are in that space, like how Shelly spoke just now about doing the 5 4 3 2 1, releasing that anxiety, especially first thing in the morning, think about how being able to do that, being able to be present, being able to have that shift, how that then impacts all your other relationships, because that too is mental wellness. Being able to have positive relationships, whether it is at work, in the
Yeah.
workplace, whether it is home with your family, your loved ones, in your communities, in organizations. We are people that connect with each other. And being in a place of mental wellness, being in a place where we can be at our best so that we can give our best, so it allows us to experience things like being happy, just
Yeah.
happiness.
Yeah.
Gratitude allows you to bask in that. It allows you to connect with people, to be empathetic,
Hmm.
because you are then able to, it's not that, it's not all about you. You're able to identify with and relate to people right where they are. Just think about the power of that connectivity with you then, and that is all possible through maintaining a positive mental wellness practice. And I think Shelley mentioned it earlier. It's not something that's an overnight fix. It's something that
No.
we have to tell ourselves, we're getting up every single day and we're doing this. We're getting up every single day. And I would challenge all of you, whether you're listening now or on the replay, every day to just think about 5 things that you feel truly blessed for. And every day, doesn't matter which part of the day it is, think about the things and just say it out loud. I am blessed for this friendship. I am blessed that I had a really good night's sleep last night. I am blessed that I'm doing the work that I love. What are the things that you feel blessed about? And express your gratitude about that, because it starts here with us. It starts
Yeah.
with what we feel, what we think, and what we say to ourselves. And so mental wellness is about a positive mindset. It's like Shelley said, about building that resilience. And it then also helps you socially. I mean, Shelley, you touched on it physically and how it relates to that as well, where you are able then to feel more powered. And one thing I wanted to add is we don't think about gratitude also when achieving the things that we want to achieve in life. But
Ah.
here's the truth: when you are practicing gratitude daily, you are able to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. Why? You are more motivated. Your motivation increases. You feel that sense of purpose. You know why you're going, you know where you're going, and you got a plan of how you're going to get there. So, gratitude, Shelley called it the foundation, but it's like that oxygen. And if you're breathing it in every day, if you are just practicing this gratitude, I promise
Hmm.
you, every area in your life is going to see a change.
Yeah,
Every area.
you mentioned relationships, Karen, and I I have like two. I really want to add two things. One, gratitude and relationships. That's another area of study, and um, even if we don't go to the data, we can really think about it in our own lives. How we
Mhm.
feel when people say thank you, and how we feel when people appreciate us being where we are, just showing up and being here. So, and that's something that I do. I read an article in a parenting magazine years ago, and it said that if you really want to um develop love and satisfaction and I guess resilience is the word, yeah, in your children, and not have them you know feeling as if they're missing anything. If you want to build strong resilient children, then appreciate them, appreciate their presence, and make them feel as if you're happy that they are where they are, that they exist. And one of the practical things that was recommended was whenever they come into a room or you walk into a room and you see them, smile
Yeah.
and, physically show that you are happy they are there.
Mhm.
And so I do that regularly with my children. When whatever I'm doing, if they come to me at the computer, I pause, I turn to them and I smile just so they know that I'm happy to see them. And you know what I noticed? I do that with adults too. And funny enough, one of the things that people remember a lot about me is my smile. And I believe it's because of that practice. I met
Mhm.
a lady, messaged me on Facebook, and I do editing and working with authors and so on as well, because I believe that there's so much value that people have to add to the world, and I'm really on a mission to help people do that. And when it comes to writing, there's a whole lot of anxiety associated with writing. So I use the gratitude practice and the gratitude strategy with um my writing buddies and with the authors that I work with as well. But this woman reached out to me on Facebook and she said, I noticed your smile. That's why I'm reaching out to you. And I was
Mhm.
like, huh? What? So, she looked at my Facebook profile or my LinkedIn profile as a smile as well. And something as little as that. So we don't even necessarily have to tell people, hey, I'm grateful for you. I am happy that you're here. That is nice. And we can see that ever so often. But behaving that way really just begins with a smile. When you see
Mhm.
someone, you smile, you are happy that they are there, the people that you love, the people that are in your space. And what that does is that it makes people more open toward you.
Yes.
And in
Mhm.
business, we talk a lot about networking and interacting with people, and that when you leverage people in your network and you build those relationships, that is what it's all about. So
Mhm.
relationships are important for our overall well-being, and they're also important for our business well-being. So when we talk about getting it done with gratitude, it's not just about us personally feeling happier. We're also talking about those relationships, because relationships help us get where we want to be.
Yes.
And that we open doors with gratitude by appreciating people and so on. So there's a whole lot about gratitude that is really the we can call it all the wonderful things. It's a cornerstone, it's the foundation, it's a secret weapon, it's a secret sauce, because it's something that many people kind of take for granted, and they don't realize how powerful that
Mhm.
daily habit of gratitude is in terms of their own well-being, and they may not recognize how
Mhm.
powerful gratitude is to getting things done, as you mentioned before, because it allows us to sleep well, we're better rested, and
Yeah.
we can think more clearly. Because it helps us deal with distress and trauma, we can think better and continue moving on, keep on keeping on, as some people say. So we do
Yes.
have
Yes.
that
Yeah.
all round thing when it comes to gratitude. And it can start with something as simple as a smile.
Absolutely. And a smile talks in every single language. And for
Yes.
everything, we talk about gratitude and setting goals, but there are little things that you can do every day just to help you get in the habit, because it really is a habit that you have to cultivate. You can do things
Hmm.
like starting a gratitude journal. You can do things like what Shelly just mentioned. Shelly mentioned her smile that connects her with people, and y'all will attest that is a gorgeous smile. But you can decide every day, I'm going to express gratitude to someone else. There has to be someone in this space. Someone may have given you an opportunity for a business opportunity. Someone may have put you in a good referral. All these are things that you can just express your gratitude for. I do that with my clients. I really express my gratitude to them for allowing me to help them navigate and to achieve the goals that they have set for themselves in their lives. You can practice reframing your thoughts. I have this thing I call the triple A. So you acknowledge it. So the thought came. So that is one A. You just acknowledge it is there. And then after you acknowledge it, oh, there I nearly, the awareness of it. Sorry, let me retract that. So you have the awareness that the thought is there, you acknowledge it, but then you take action. And the action is where you
Yes.
practice the gratitude. The action is where you then shift. When you take that negative thought that is coming in, oh, why is this thing always happening to me? And you change it to, this has happened, and I'm going to do this instead, so that
Mm-hmm.
you shift it, and it's no longer then framed in negative. You shift it and you make it into a different state. You turn it into something else. And if you keep the three A's handy, they really help you: awareness, acknowledge it, and action. And of the three of them, the action is the most important one. So practicing gratitude and making that something that is a way of life is really going, that is the, Shelley called all the words, but that is the
Yeah.
bedrock of,
Looking for another
of
one, right?
your, that is the bedrock of your mental wellness.
Yeah,
Mental
yes, it is, it
wellness
is, it is.
is just not only about, feeling good and reducing the pressures of life, etc. It is so much more of that, but it can start
Yes, about
very simply, just with
thriving.
gratitude. You can get it done by practicing gratitude.
Yeah, it's really about thriving. And to follow on with the AAA, I've been working with what I call the gratitude strategy, which is say it right, which is the reframing that you spoke about, and there are ways that you can do it. And sometimes there are things that we think are um, positive when they're really not because of the words that we're using and the way we're putting them together. Then I talk about saying it loud, which is taking it out of your head and bringing it into reality, making it tangible, whether you're physically doing something or saying something, there is that. And then saying it always, which is where that habit comes in. So say it right, say it loud, and say it always, so that you can really develop that habit of gratitude. So it's not just something that you do now and then, it becomes a daily practice, a minute by minute, moment by moment practice that helps you build that resilience. So I
Yeah.
think that is an awesome note for us to end on. So we've given some practical things, shared our
Yes.
experiences on how gratitude helped us
Hmm.
and how it continues to help us. And for those who are viewing, check back with us, look at the recording if you are. Thank you so much again for joining us, and please continue. We are going to be here every Thursday at 7 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time to explain and discuss the wonderful benefits of gratitude and how you can use gratitude to really get it done. Whatever it is for you, whatever it is you're aiming for, gratitude is something that can help you build that resilience to get it done.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to let you know that next Thursday we are going to be having a guest, a wellness coach, and so we are going to be talking about wellness as well from her perspective, applying gratitude, because this month has been all about health. There was World Health Day on the 8th of April. There was Autism Day, and all of these
Hmm.
things. When we think of our health, we want to start with the mind, but that impacts everything: the body, the spirit, the emotions, everything. It really has been our joy to spend the morning here with you. It has been lovely. Do practice some of those tips that we shared about how you can actually get gratitude to be developed as a habit into your life on a daily basis. And whatever you do today, do it with gratitude. Until next time.
Awesome. Until next time.